Hello, BookTube. I have a little Thursday mail haul for you here, just a few packages. So only a few chances to see if one of these books is a winner, a Steve Squealer of a book. And that means peril hangs by a thread. Because if one of these books is not a Steve Squealing type of book, one of you will die. Don't worry. I'll use a random number generator so that I don't automatically choose Wilson Shugart. So let's see. Now that the stakes are high enough to get your attention, let's see. Let's see if one of these books saves you. First book. First book's not going to do it. First book is a made-up story. Let's see. What have we got here? Okay, I don't know this thing at all. This is American Saint by Sean Gandert. Let's see here. Raised in a poor neighborhood in Albuquerque by his mother and his grandmother, Gabriel Romero grows up feverishly religious, privately conflicted, and consumed by what he is certain is the true will of God. A radical activist determined to enlighten the consciousness of the country losing its way, Gabriel starts his own church. His slogans go viral. His protests make him either a hero or an anarchist in a polarized America, and his miracles, if we can believe what we see, cast him as either a charlatan or a saint. But Gabriel knows that to ensure lasting faith he must do something truly memorable, and for that he will see his divine mission to its startling end. In this high-concept novel, framed as a hagiography, Sean Gandert examines the larger notions of belief and relationship between stories we tell about a reality and reality itself. Probing, nuanced, and imaginatively told, slow down there, Seymour, I'll quite literally be the judge of that. American Saint, which comes out in late August, looks daringly at the Catholic Church, the state of the nation, and the human psyche. Okay, so who is Sean Gandert when he's at home? He was born and raised in Albuquerque, New Mexico. He received his undergraduate degree from Yale University and an MFA in creative writing from Bennington College. He's a freelance writer and English professor, and his reviews and interviews have appeared in Paste magazine and other publications. He made his authorial debut in 2017 with the novel Lost in Arcadia. An avid gamer, Sean currently resides in Florida with his partner and their 5 cats. Okay. Okay. Florida man, and he lives with cats, multiple cats. All right, so we're gonna try and overlook those details. And there he is. There is his author photo. He is quite young. Here he is with a floral backdrop, eliciting that by now time-honored comment from me, Sainted Ma. You got your book published. It would kill you to smile. So American Saint, of course, it's the second novel by an author. I don't think I've read his first novel, and it's a made-up story, and it's by somebody who owns not just one cat, but multiple cats. So it has not saved you. Okay, BookTube, so we're going to go on from there. We're going to hope better, because I don't want to lose a single one of you. Let's see what this next one is. Maybe this will be the one. It is. You're saved for another day. This is from the folks at Yale University Press. This comes out in early August, and it is a Steve book. It is definitely a Steve book. This is by Paul Ray, and it's called Spartas' First Attic War. The Grand Strategy of Classical Sparta, 478 to 446 BC. This is the part of, it's a companion volume to the Spartan regime and the Grand Strategy of Classical Sparta. This is just the next volume in this. This guy is a fantastic popularizer and great scholar of ancient Sparta. During the Persian War, Sparta and Athens worked in tandem to defeat what was, in terms of relative resources and power, the greatest empire in human history. For the decade and a half that followed, they continued their collaboration until a rift opened and an intense strategic rivalry began. And this book tells the story of that. The author is a Rhodes Scholar and holds the Charles O. Lee and Louise K. Lee Chair in Western Heritage at Hillsdale College. And he's the author of numerous books. So, and I read both of the Spartan books that are mentioned here and like them both. So that's fantastic. Early August. I could have done with an advance copy, but I'm one of the only reviewers out there who doesn't technically need the lead time of an advance copy. It'd just be nice to get one. That's all, so I know what's coming. All right, so the tension is off here, so we can all enjoy this without worrying that Wilson Shugart is going to end up dead. Oh, wait, I said I'd use a random number generator. All right, could be anybody. Oh, my. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, this is due soon, I'm sure. This is an August book. Yes, August. This is early August. This is literary criticism, literary history, type of thing that either makes it or breaks it for me. I either love it or I'm lost in it. I hate it more than almost anything outside of philosophy. In fact, a lot of times, literary criticism of the type that I hate is just an attempt on the author's part to smuggle into books about books the professional pedophagy of philosophy, the professional idiotic, arid wordplay of philosophy. It can be very dispiriting. But we shall see. This is called Selling the Story, Transaction and Narrative Value in Balzac, Dostoevsky, and Zola by Jonathan Payne. And let's see here. Every writer is a player in the marketplace for literature. The author locates the economics ingrained within the stories themselves, reveals how texts provide a record of its author's attempt to sell the story to his readers. An unusual literary scholar with a background in finance, Payne mines stories for evidence of the conditions of their production. Okay, that does sound interesting. If he can keep his book, free of jargon and cant, then that would be interesting to read. So he reads through Balzac's The Splendors and Miseries of Courtesans, the Brothers Karamazov, and Zola's Money, of course, his money. Wow, okay. Well, I don't know Balzac and Zola nearly as well as I should, so this is going to be interesting and maybe a spur for me to read those books again. Dostoevsky I know well enough to sort of keep an eye on the author, and that's great. I want one part of the book, at least, to be something where I can keep an eye on whether or not the author is writing checks his butt can't cash. But that's great. That's fantastic. I will resist the urge to go straight to the Dostoevsky chapter. In fact, I will try to go. Of those three authors, I know Zola by far the least. I should probably go to that chapter first and see what it teaches me. So now we'll just move on here. Let's see. To one of these pull tab envelopes, in which pull tab never works, but it worked on the fifth try, so that's something. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, my. Okay. This is an October release. This is... Wow. Okay, that was fast. This is a biography of Elaine Stritch, the actress Elaine Stritch. Here pictured smoking so that you know that she's cool, and also so that by shorthand you can see why she died. I will never, ever, if I live to be 30, I will never understand. Oh, anyway. Well, I do. I actually do understand. If you have 5 big tobacco companies who have had sole domain over this product and its publication, its popularization for a century, and have poured billions and billions of hundreds of billions of dollars into carpeting the world with the right social reception for that product, then you will get the results that your astronomical amounts of money pay for. So it won't be. This is not, in your mind, when you see it, a picture of this older woman holding a syringe. It is the exact same thing. She's holding up a drug that she needed to live, that she was hooked on by the pharmaceutical companies that make the drug, and that made an obscene amount of profit from selling it to her, knowing that it would kill her, and it did. She is doing that. But this picture suggests to all of you immediately the first thing that it suggests to you, the first 10 things it suggests, are all positive. They're all cool. They're all made and bought by the companies that produce this product. That is a syringe, but it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter to anybody. I'm a lone voice crying in the wilderness. So what have we got here? Some of you may not know this actress. She's great. She was great. She was fantastic. She died in 2014 and was never a really big star. I think the biggest audience she ever reached were in her iconic late-in-life Broadway shows, where she would just go on and do these weird night-long monologues interrupted by musical interludes. I don't know how to describe them. I went to one of them, and I couldn't imagine how any performer could do that 6 nights a week. much less someone who's in her 70s. But the show must go on, I guess. So, Elaine Stritch's amazing career stretched the entire second half of the 20th century and into the early 21st century when, astonishingly, she reached the peak of her celebrity in old age. With her distinctive raspy voice, acerbic wit, and struggles with alcoholism complicated by relationships with men, Stritch emerges here as a complex and inspiring figure. She was the definitive leading lady of her own creation, a one-time convent girl from Detroit who made significant contributions to theatrical history, including her role in the landmark 1970 Sondheim musical Company, and the culminating in her triumph in her 2001 Tony Award-winning one-woman show At Liberty. Okay, that's the one I saw. I didn't know it won a Tony Award. That's great. That's fantastic. Crowds ate it up. They didn't know what to make of it, especially the young people in the crowd. I was with two young people. They had no idea what to make of any of it. After the show, over Chinese food, they wanted to know from me, is that true? Was Broadway really like that? I don't know why they wouldn't take her word for it. Along the way, she worked with the 20th century's most important playwrights, including Noel Coward, Tennessee Williams, Neil Simon, and Edward Albee, and starred in movies and television shows alongside Tina Fey, Alec Baldwin, both of those in 30 Rock, where she plays Alec Baldwin's character. She plays his overbearing mother and does a great job. You can tell in the scenes that she's phoning it in, but she was such a giant, such a titan of a previous era that they could phone things in and still be better in every way. Comic timing, line reading, gestures, mannerisms. They could still be better in every way than the sharpest comedic talents around them from a younger generation. Alec Baldwin and Tina Fey are both fantastic in that show, and she outclasses both of them easily when you can see she's not really trying. it's kind of amazing. Okay, so this is written in cooperation with her estate and based on interviews with many prominent colleagues and friends. So this will be the first. I don't know how long it will have to be until there's another Elaine Stritch biography. There might not be one anytime in our lifetime. But this will be the groundwork that they all use. So that's great. And it comes out in late October. And then the last one, the last package. Look at that. That one worked in one try. What have we got here? Okay, I think we saw this already. I think we saw this. This is historical fiction. I think we saw this in its advanced copy. This is When the Plums Are Ripe by Patrice Ngangang, Nganang, translated from the French by Amy Reed. This is the second volume in a trilogy set during in Cameroon, caught between empires during World War II. Did I read the first one in this series? I don't know if I did. I think was it Mount Pleasant? Well, anyway, what do we have? What do you have to tell me here? Yeah, I think it was Mount Pleasant that was the first book. Literary Hub, The New Yorker, Counterpunch, Vanity Fair, Kirkus, all loved it. It doesn't look like the New York Times, the Washington Post, or that weird book critic at the Wall Street Journal had anything to say about it. Not always fatal. That's not always fatal. Okay, so well, the sell sheet doesn't tell me anything about the book. Maybe the book does. 3 years after the publication of his acclaimed novel Mount Pleasant. Okay, Patrice Nganang returns to his native country with When the Plums Are Ripe, the second volume in a magisterial trilogy about the birth of modern Cameroon. In Cameroon, plum season is a highly anticipated time of year, but for the narrator of this book, the season brings to mind the time when our country discovered, if not the crux of its own violence, then that of the world, when it sent off along the road through the desert its many sons, just like the fruit sellers toss away each evening the plums they haven't been able to grill. Okay. All right. I wonder if I can't remember if I read Mount Pleasant. This is a bad sign on its own. I wonder if I need that, though. I wonder if I need Mount Pleasant in order to read this. Good Lord. The sell sheet doesn't even give a date for the book. Boy, oh boy. Oh, yes, it does. Mid-August. Okay. Mid-August is when this comes out. I'm going to have to find out. I will quiz the publicist and see if I need the first book. Do I need Mount Pleasant to read this? I shouldn't. I shouldn't even mention it to the publicist. As a reviewer, I should say, well, if this doesn't make any sense as the second book in a trilogy, I should just say that. In a review, I should just say that. Don't bother to buy this book until you've read the first one. It's the author's job, not the publicist's job, but I might do that anyway. So we have translated historical fiction, When the Plums Are Ripe. We have the very first, the groundbreaking biography of Elaine Stritch. We have Selling the Story, the narratives of literary commerce as seen in the fiction of Zola and Flaubert and, was it Flaubert? Oh, no, Balzac and Dostoevsky. Very interesting. Then Sparta's First Attic War, granular history of ancient Sparta that I'm going to have to find the author's previous books and give them a look over before I go into this one. And American Saint by Sean Ganders, about a would-be messiah, would-be saint, would-be tent revivalist, and the problems that he encounters in his own life. Second novel by a young novelist who has many cats. We'll try not to hold that against him. So there you go. That was the mail for Thursday. So we'll be back on Friday with more mail. But until then, you all get to breathe easy. I'm not taking any human sacrifices today. Thank you, BookTube.